Okay, so we've designed our PCB, we've exported our Gerber files, we're ready to get some production. The boss wants 100,000. We're a little bit worried, we've never tried our PCB before. Probably the best thing to do is get a prototype first. Wouldn't you agree? Try it out before we produce 100,000. So there's a couple of things we want to know. We want to know how much, in reality, it's going to cost for us to manufacture the board we've designed. And we want to find it the quickest possible way. Now, in the old days, this was very, very difficult to do. In fact, it was impossible to do, wasn't it? You had to run off many panels of boards and take a big financial hit. But now, we have what we call rapid prototyping PCBs. So, we've got our Gerber file, and as you can see on the screen, I've zipped it up, and it's called Design 1. So now, I'm going to get a quote for how much it's going to cost to manufacture one of those boards down to the specifications that I want. And to do that, there are plenty of companies who do this. The one we like to use is a company from China called PCBWay, because they're extremely cheap and extremely fast, two things we like a lot. And they're good. So I'm going to pop up my browser, and the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to PCBWay. Simple as that. We go along here. Okay, I want to get an instant quote here, and I want to make a standard PCB. So this is a great starting point until we reach complexities of Rogers boards and RF and everything. This is a great starting point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this online tool to immediately give me a price and to validate my files, automated validation. So it can tell me if there's a problem before I've even spent the money. Yeah? So I need to give it some information. First thing is I want this board, I only want to make some PCBs and prototypes, so I'm happy to have single pieces. Normally we create a panel. Normally we have a design of a certain size, and we have a standard panel size. And we'll fit as many of those on the panel as we can, and this reduces production costs. But in this case I'm going to go to single pieces. I only have one design. If I wanted to save money I could put different designs in. Important parameters, it wants my length. Now to get the length of my board, all I need to do is, what you can do is you can place a dimension, and you can place a standard dimension, which is what's happened here. And when we place a standard dimension, it will ask where do you want it from, so I can go from here to here, yeah, and then I'm going to get a dimension. It's a little bit too big, the font's too big on there, but what it actually does is it will output this kind of thing. So I know now that my board is about 49 millimeters on the X and 17 millimeters on the Y, yeah? So I come along to my PCBWay, and I'm going to write on here, what was it, 49 and 17. So I've rounded it up, so I'm going to go 49 by 17. So that's the first parameter I've put in there, and I'm working in millimeters. How many do I want? Minimum order is 5. How many layers have I got? Well, I know I've got a top layer and I've got a bottom layer, so I've got 2 layers. Yeah, so we're happy to leave it on 2. We're using a standard fiberglass board, FR4, it's very standard. We can leave everything else.
We've only got a bottom layer.
Yeah, but it's coming as a 2-layer board, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, it is.
Yeah. Coming as a 2-layer board. So I've sent 2 layers. Yep. So the problem is if I'd done this now and I sent it, but I said it was a single layer, they would create a BRC, design rule check, and it would be violated, and then they'll contact me and say, you wanted a 2-layer board, but you've only sent 1 layer. And so just, yeah, so I'm going to say 2 layers. Standard thickness of an FR4 board is 1.6 millimeters. You can go lower, it will increase your cost. So we leave everything as standard, no need to mess with any of this. What this minimum tracking spacing means is when we were doing the PCB, you had to decide the width of your traces. And the clearance between, if you have 2 traces running parallel, there's a clearance between them. There's a minimum that we have to adhere to. And 6 mil, what that means, 6 mil, 6 thou. So we've got 6 thou width and 6 thou clearance between the next strap. I can make them smaller and I can get them closer, but my price will go up because the technology is hard. So I want to keep it nice and simple, 6 by 6. So I need to make sure that my PCB does not violate that wall. Okay, and then lots of other things that you can choose. We just want a basic, what this surface finish here is what they finish the copper with at the end for your pads to solder on, etc., so that the copper doesn't oxidize. and how much copper that you actually want on it. We can leave all these values as default, yeah? Now, what I'm going to do, right, okay, so I'm happy with everything there. Now I'm going to calculate the price for this, okay? So we go for a calculation, and it reckons for me to generate 5 boards, it's going to cost me $5. So that's $1 a board. I mean, that's phenomenal. Yeah? The postage is nearly 5 times the cost of the board I'm making. That's just the way it goes. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and yes, I want to save that to a cart, because now it's going to ask me to log in, isn't it? Do we have a login for this? Can you remember?
like you have to use yours.
So you are going to have to create an account to it's going to be like that. I don't know about you, but all mine are always saved.
Okay, this is a bit of a brick wall, mate.
Okay, we're going to just quickly create a new account here. And we get $5 welcome. What have we got there?
This is obviously what you'll have to do. Don't have to pay any money for that. So you can see this is a live performance, can't you?
Let me remember my password. Have you got an account?
So they can work without them.
Sí, sí, tarjeta de... No, la de
Okay, bear with us while we recover the password.